Another troubleshooting session with the Kayo carb. This is the world's smallest gas tank for a very tiny motor. And I have not been able to get this bike to run for the last couple weeks, and I think it's because I could not get fuel into it. This is a visual way to confirm that yes, there is fuel getting into the bike and whether it's being sucked into the engine or not. I'm going to try to start it now, and if it does run at this point, something's wrong with my gas tank and my fuel petcock. We can now see and hear that my gas tank is slowly being depleted and the engine runs. So I don't have a carb problem, I have a gas tank fueling problem. There goes the fuel level. So I can stop messing with my throttle cable and my carb, because that's not what the problem was starting the engine. This bike absolutely drives me mad. It doesn't run most of the time. Run it at home, get to the track, won't run. I think I've narrowed down what the problem is after several years. Let's see if we can take a look up in there. So here's the fuel petcock, and when I get to the track, I turn it on. It's rotated down. Allow fuel into the carb. My problem is I get to the track and the bike won't start because there's no fuel getting to it. I put a clear fuel line on to try to figure out why my bike would never run. You'll notice how I've oriented the fuel line there. Sorry, this is not a good view. The problem is the petcock outlet is almost the exact same height as the carb inlet. Fluid runs downhill, not uphill. The problem, as you can see here, is the fuel line is pointed slightly up. So what I've done is zip tied it in place to try to keep it from going up too high, because then that's where air gets stuck and you won't get any flow into the carb float bowl and the carb won't run. So that's my problem here, is the air filter tends to get in the way and pushes the line up too high. So I've been very careful about routing the line so it's all going downhill. The other problem I'm going to have here is this kink going into the carb. When I do that, when the engine gets hot, that line is going to soften, and it's quite likely it's going to kink and the bike will be fuel starved again. So this is my temporary fix. I got it to run, push started it, everything's okay. When I turn the fuel valve off and leave it sit for about a week, this level would slowly drop and I will probably get air in there somewhere. And it's the air that prevents the fluid from flowing when the fuel line is going up over the air filter. So again, I put the zip tie there to hold it down and keep it from sticking up so that I have a relatively level flow from the petcock down into the carb inlet. So I'm gonna work on this some more and maybe I can make it a little more reliable, but it's a pain in the butt. If the carb sat lower or the tank was higher, it wouldn't matter, but because they're at the same height, that's what's going on. I have another Kayo over there, same exact problem with the smart carb, fuel starvation. Same problem, fuel inlet, petcock, same level. Fluid doesn't flow uphill. Anyway, that's my update on what I've learned about my dumb Kayo at this point. Knowing's half the battle, right?